This is the Draft Guys podcast with Peyton and Niko coming at you live with a three-round mock draft for the New York Jets. We're looking at the free agents on the screen. Pete, on what jumps off the board to you?
Obviously, the main storyline is the people that they traded for, rather the people that they signed. Geno Smith coming in there to play quarterback this year, as well as I think a great trade for getting Minka Fitzpatrick for the value that you got to get a good safety back on the back end of that defense. I like a lot of the moves they made. I like keeping Breece Hall around. I like the trade for Devondre Sweat in that 3-4 system. Obviously, the main thing this offseason is going to be with those two first-round picks. So I'm excited to get into this.
Yeah, we're going to get into it right here. The Jets have a unique situation with their draft picks as we're doing a three-round mock draft, but you see the picks on the screen. They have the second pick overall, the 16th pick, the 33rd, and the 44th. And we're looking at the board here. You got Arvell Reese, you got Ruben Bain, Carnell Tate, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs. You have everybody but Fernando Mendoza. So, Pete, on enlighten the crowd, what is the consensus pick at number two?
The consensus pick is Arvell Reese. And unfortunately, for someone looking for something different, I'm going to take Arvell Reese here. I think Niko is going to be good with that too. This is the best player available for this team at this spot. He is immediately a high-level linebacker. You can draft him, and he will be a really good linebacker for you for a long time. He's incredibly physical. He's incredibly athletic. You know all those things. I think he can transition to a 3-4 outside linebacker as a pass rusher. And I think he can do really good at that. I think in the future, there's a role for him to do that. Right now, you get a great player at linebacker. Down the road, I think you get a really good edge rusher if he transitioned into that. That's absolutely a home run pick at number two.
I think he can even play Mike as an inside linebacker in this scheme if necessary. He can do it all around the board. We'll put that pick in very easy. And we'll move to 16 and see what they get at 16 based on what the board has for them. Okay. So Jeremiah Love did fall. Interesting here. I don't know if we're gonna go there. Because I don't think that the Jets really need that. Pete Dunn, I mean, you see the board, Monroe Freeling's here, Vega's here, Thieneman, Peter Woods. We'll look really quickly at the wide receivers. Okay, so Casey Concepcion is here. Makai Lemon, which is a typical mock for them, is not here. Denzel Boston, maybe. Kenyon Sadiq. You got Avion Terrell's here. Cisse. Is there someone you're leaning towards?
Yeah, I like the idea of putting Peter Woods in this system, having him on that defensive tackle, pairing him with Devondre Sweat feels nasty. That feels like a really great defensive tackle situation. Um, hmm. What are you thinking? I will say Owane here to just absolutely bolster the mess out of that offensive line for whatever quarterback's going to come in next season feels awesome. I think you automatically I think right now you have a top three tackle situation, both on rookie contracts. And to get a guard who I have as the number 6 player in the draft, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. They have a hole open at guard. They are pretty good at the other two spots. They have a place for him to go. So I think you can play him. I'm between him and Woods here. Those are my two picks.
Yeah, they lost Vera Tucker in free agency. I really like that Vegas spot, offensive guard from Penn State. Just solidifies it. You know, you typically see on the mock draft Mondays for this Jets organization, it's linebacker, it's wide receiver at 2 and 16. I like how we're going to differentiate a little bit from that. We're going to put in the pick. It's going to be Vega here
So
at
good.
number 16. I mean, it's just a match made in heaven, and you really bolster that team. And you have other picks, and the guard, position is not as deep as some of these other positions and needs. You can get a slot receiver maybe at a different time and a bunch of different things. But yeah, we're gonna put that pick in, and we're gonna move to the next pick at 33, which was gonna really make their draft. Okay, so got some guys on the board. Denzel Boston is here. We've mocked him there in our War Room mock draft. That's a
Yep.
wide receiver that they could really use alongside AD Mitchell and Garrett Wilson. Look at some other guys on the board. Jadarian Price, maybe a notable name. I don't think they're going to go tight end. They're not going to go tackle or guard anymore. Defensive tackle, they could. Christian Miller is here.
Yeah.
Um, got some edges. Obviously, if you want to add another outside linebacker, could definitely be interesting. I don't know if they'll go middle, but they are because they already had Arvell Reese. And then you got the corners, which they could always add a corner. Safeties are on the board. Pete, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I would love to go corner for this team in this spot. If Colton Hood makes it here, he would probably be my pick, but I don't love the way the board fell. I like the idea of that, and maybe that's something they could look if the board fell differently. And I also don't like the receivers here. Those are the two positions that I would really like to get this team to get their hands on. So that leaves me with defensive tackle. And I think I'm going to take Christian Miller here. If you think that too, I think he fits really well next to Tavondre Sweat, lighter than Tavondre Sweat. Sweat can be that nose tackle in that 3-4 system, and Christian Miller can be absolutely awesome next to him. I think this is a really, really good pick if he makes it here.
Super realistic spot for that Kristen Miller pick. He won't play the nose tackle in this 3-4, but he can play that true defensive tackle spot. We're going to put that pick in, and we're going to move to their next pick, which is not too far away. It's 44, and you see the board of guys here. Cassius Howell still is on
Mm,
the board. That is
yeah.
crazy. I mean, I think, Pete, what are you thinking about? How do you feel about Cassius Howell at this spot at 44?
This is the range that I like him in. I don't know if he plays too similarly to Will McDonald, and is kind of the thought I have there. Are you really willing to draft him? Yeah, Jeremy Bernard sitting
Yep.
there. That's probably where yeah. How do you feel
Let's
about
put it in. You tell
Yeah.
you tell the viewers about Jeremy Bernard who don't know.
Yeah, he's fantastic. You've said it before. I think he's one of the best route runners in the class, top three route runner in the class, which says a lot. The only reason this dude's not a consensus top 15, top 20 players because he's not that great of an athlete, but you have the great athlete in Garrett Wilson. And so if this guy can be a wide receiver two in your offense, he doesn't have to be a first receiver guy. This is a guy that get maybe, 6 to 8 targets a game. He'll catch seven of them, and he's going to be really good for you. Catch a lot of touchdowns. Really, really, really high floor player. And holy smokes, whoever's walking into this team as the quarterback next year, name any of them, they are walking into an incredible, incredible room.
It's awesome. We did pass on a quarterback. Pete, on how do you feel about that? If you're a Jets fan, how can you give them a little bit of hope about their situation?
Yeah, I think the best thing to do here is to invest in that next quarterback. With the track record that the Jets have had of trying to draft the quarterback before getting the team ready, it hasn't worked out historically. So now I think you put what is a top three, top five offensive line in the league in front of them with absolutely bolstering the mess out of that defense with getting Arvell Reese and Christian Miller. It couldn't be much better. I mean, this draft could not be much better if you are Arch Manning or you're CJ Carr or you're any of the quarterbacks looking to get drafted next year. The Jets, what has historically not been a great landing spot for quarterbacks, is a damn good landing spot for a quarterback.
We talked about it in our previous snap count episode. They did the best thing they could have, getting the best bridge quarterback available in Geno Smith with the contract that they're paying him. It's awesome. And you know about that 2027 draft class, which is going to be out of this world. We can't wait to mock somebody to that Jets team same time next year. We thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode. And if you like this episode, stay tuned for more of our episodes just like this.